All right, let's jump right in. We have all been there, right? You get a shell, you feel that awesome rush of victory, but then you look at your packet capture and you can't actually explain how it happened. This explainer is all about fixing that. It's about moving from "I think it worked" to having undeniable proof on the wire.
Man, this really hits home, doesn't it? This is the exact challenge we're solving today. A capture that's just full of data is pretty useless if it doesn't tell a clear story. So we're going to learn how to turn that chaotic parade of packets into a real narrative that proves exactly what you did and how you did it. Okay, first things first, the setup. Before we even dream about exploits, we have to get this right. Because, as the source material so perfectly puts it, a perfect analysis of a bad capture is just confident fiction. Seriously, getting this initial step right is everything. So let's talk about two fundamental truths you'll run into. First, most of the time you fail, it's not because your exploit was bad. It's because your capture was lying to you. You were on the wrong interface, or your VM was set up weird. And second, most successes feel like you just got lucky because you missed that one critical packet where the whole game changed. The problem isn't your skill, it's the way you're gathering evidence. So how do we fix it? Well, it's with two incredibly simple checks that can save you hours of headaches. First, just ping the target. If you don't see that ARP request or that ICMP echo, you're watching the wrong show. Just stop. Second, double-check your virtual machine's network settings. You have to be sure you're actually listening to the conversation you think you are. All right, with our setup solid, we can move to our first phase, the before. I want you to think of this as building a clean baseline. All the traffic we capture here should be just polite questions we're asking the target. We're essentially sketching a map of the area before we do anything disruptive. And that map starts right here with the very first packet. This is the one that's so easy to ignore, but it's the one that confirms you can even talk to the target in the first place. And that's the ARP request and reply. I know, it seems kind of boring, right? But if this simple little conversation doesn't happen, nothing else that follows can be trusted. It is the fundamental hello of the network. If you don't see this, you go no further. Packet number 2 is really the heartbeat of our before phase, a simple SYN scan. Now, this isn't just about finding open ports, not at all. It's about creating a reliable map of the target services. This baseline is what makes the after phase so incredibly obvious. When some strange new connection appears later on, you'll know for a fact it's something new and interesting. Next up, we have the packet that basically gives us the target's ID card. This is what tells us who we're really talking to. Okay, and the crucial point here is this. Don't just read this service banner and move on. You've got to pay attention to the server's entire response pattern. What's the status code? How big is the response packet? This becomes our reference point, the target's normal, everyday behavior, which we are about to completely change. And this timeline just lays out our journey perfectly. We've established the before, where all our traffic is just asking simple questions. In a minute, we're going to hit the flip, that one single moment where the whole story changes. And then we'll dive into the after, where the traffic becomes our hard proof of control. This is it. This is the climax of our story. This is the exact point in our capture where the traffic shifts from those polite questions to undeniable hard proof of exploitation. This is the moment we've been waiting for. So welcome to Packet 4. This is the delivery of the exploit itself. And, it's often the first shocking packet because it doesn't look like some dramatic scene from a movie. It looks, well, almost normal. So how do we spot it then? You got to look for these clues. A sudden, massive jump in the request length. A server response that completely changes its tune, like going from a happy 200 OK to a 500 internal server error. And maybe most importantly, a brand new connection that just appears out of nowhere right after. These are the signs that separate your exploit from all the regular noise. I absolutely love this analogy from the source material because it's just so true. The exploit, it tries to blend in. It looks like a normal request, but if you look closely, something is definitely off. It's a raccoon in a tie. You know it when you see it. Okay, so let's move into the after phase. The exploit landed, now what? Well, this section is all about proving that you have stable, usable control over that target. And that proof starts right here with packet 5. This is the moment your traffic capture stops being about web requests and starts being about pure control. This is the very first handshake of your brand new shell. And, there are two really easy ways to spot this. First, the direction of the connection might just flip. All of a sudden, the target is the one connecting back to you. And second, the whole pattern changes. You'll stop seeing big web pages and start seeing a steady stream of many small interactive packets. Think of them like keystrokes in a conversation. Now look, getting the shell is one thing, but proving it's stable is something else entirely. For packet 6, you're looking for that sustained back and forth flow of small packets for at least a minute. That's real control. Then packet 7 is your first real action. You transfer a file, you open a new connection. This is the step that turns a lab exercise into professionally relevant proof. And this brings us to one of the simplest yet most critical rules for gathering this proof. Just remember this number. 2. The rule is this: do not stop your capture the second you see that shell prompt. You have to keep it running for at least 2 more minutes. The most valuable data, the proof of what you can actually do with that shell, it often happens well after that initial connection. Stopping too early is such a classic mistake.
So why does all this matter so much? Because what we're learning here isn't just some neat lab trick. No, this is the foundation for professional level reporting, for incident response, and for being able to prove the impact of your work when it counts.
This checklist really reframes the whole exercise, doesn't it? Ask yourself these questions. Can you reproduce your findings on demand in under 10 minutes? Can you point to the exact packet where before became after? Can you explain what data moved off that target? This isn't just about getting a shell anymore. It's about being able to explain it with total authority. This is the difference between being a hobbyist and being a professional. So, I'll leave you with this question. The next time you run a capture, you're not just collecting packets. You are collecting proof. You are building a story. And the real question is, are you ready to stand up and tell it?